Brews and Banter Podcast. Banter Podcast. Brews and Banter Podcast. What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Brews and Banter Podcast. I'm your host, Rob G. And with me, as always, is the Legendary Brew Crew. What up, fellas?
I was reading this weekend. Mama. Nah, it doesn't taste like dirt. My name is Lou Belgium, ladies and gentlemen. I'm wondering,
does Delaware have an actual culture? This is the podcast that we talk about beer, but we also talk about a lot of things that's happening in the world, politics, movies, anything really that comes to our mind while we're here sampling these brews. Grab a drink and pull up a chair.
Ooh, we love you, Brews and Banter Podcast.
Maybe they were gonna be a painter until somebody said they couldn't paint. Maybe thought they was the next John Michelle until somebody yelled, no you ain't.
What up? Welcome to Bruising Banter Podcast, where the topic is the rockin' and the brew. Will that be fuel? I'm your host, Rob G. With me, as always, the Legendary Brew Crew. What's going on, Lou?
Hey, man. How you doing? How you guys doing out there?
It must be a delay. I must be delayed unless you just was pausing for dramatic effect.
No, I was not pausing for dramatic effect. I'm moving and shaking. I'm moving and shaking out here. We gotta get better Wi-Fi, man. We gotta call these companies up.
Right, I'm plugged in. Maybe I gotta reset it. I don't know. But this is episode 218 of Bruising Banter Podcast. If this is your first time joining us, welcome.
Hello.
And if it's not your first time, still welcome. We appreciate you
back
joining us this morning, this evening, whenever you listen to the podcast this afternoon.
Yes.
Well, anytime you listen to the podcast, we are glad that you are here because we do have a good show this afternoon, this morning, this evening.
I think so.
Again. We don't want to waste any time, so we're going to bring Kishna Celce to the podcast from Balancing Life and Kids.
Welcome.
Hi guys, how are you?
I love the scenery. I like being outside. It's a nice day too.
I do too.
I'm jealous. I'm a little jealous. That was a good idea.
It's
Never
nice.
too
Yeah,
it is.
That is right.
It is. I'll go outside afterwards.
Yeah, I take your shoes off and get what's it called? Grounded.
Yeah, get grounded.
That was called.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I did that the other day. I was like, oh, I missed that. I ain't did it in a while, but I understand it. Makes a lot of sense.
You put your feet in the dirt and the grass?
Yeah, I took my shoes off and just went barefoot in the grass. It was just a lush grass too, so it felt amazing. So I was like,
you were almost you were like frolicking almost. It was a frolic.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's all right. That's all right. I love that for you.
Well, Kishna, we want to thank you for coming on. Before we get too far into it, we always like to know what everybody is drinking on, if they're drinking on something. So, what are we drinking today? And we always start with a guest. So, Kishna, are you drinking anything today?
I'm not, unfortunately.
Okay. That's all right. That's
okay.
All right.
Be clear in mind. We'll hit you with these questions.
And we'll do the drinking for you.
Yes.
Lou, what you drinking on?
Oh man, I don't even know. It's Oktoberfest season, so I was trying to be in the midst of the season. So I got some German beer. I know it's a Fest beer or a Feist beer, but I can't pronounce the name, and I'm not even going to try. It starts with a W and it ends with the R, and it has about 15 letters in between.
Weinheis Steffenmeyer. That seemed like it might be close. Weinheis Steffenmeyer.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
German.
Yeah. Say that again. Look, Weinheis Steffenmeyer. I think that's right.
I think that's
right.
Maybe.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Know better.
Yeah.
But now more I look at it, might be Weinhen, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. But we're gonna go with some history behind this though. This that particular name in the people brewing that beer have been brewing since 1040 is what they say on this bottle. It also says it's been brewed under purity of law since 1516. So I guess they changed the laws and made it have to be more pure. It's a 5.8 alcohol by volume. You're supposed to keep it dark and in a cool place, 52 degrees Fahrenheit, or in the honor of Miss Kishna, 11 degrees Celsius. That's what it looks like in its pour, real golden in color. It tastes like an Oktoberfest style beer. It's really well done. I appreciate it. This time of year, this is all I like. Not all I like to drink, but I like to have a couple of these in my month. So cheers. Pass me another.
I think the purity laws is like the German thing where you can only have the basic things in beer. You don't add nothing else. It just has to be water, hops.
I wonder
barley.
what they was adding from 1040 to 1500. I wonder what adjuncts they was adding back then. It's probably killing people, man. Yeah. I was thinking the purity of it made it like less homebrew style and more like the monks took over and the church took over brewing the beer. That's what I was thinking when he said purity. But you could be right as well. I'm not gonna look it up. So we'll never know if it comes down to me. We'll never know.
Yeah, it's like Reinheitsbalt or something like that. But it is something that in Germany where it's only you can. I guess maybe they were putting like wine or extra stuff like rabbit foot. I don't know.
Yeah, a little boar's meat. Yeah, little meat from the kill last week. Yeah,
little beef,
salt,
little beef jerky.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. that rainwater, that's stew water. Anyway, Rob.
Yes.
Are you drinking this week?
Yeah, I'm actually drinking from Thompson Island Brewing down in I guess that's Rehoboth. I guess that's Rehoboth. Yeah.
Okay.
It is their double IPA. Good times. There it is right there. It's a double IPA, 8% ABV. And it's a heavy IPA. It's definitely hazy because you can't see through it. You can't at all.
Nope.
But it is flavorful. Not too bitter at all. So it definitely is a good drink. I mean, you can't have a lot of them because, like I said, it is 8%. Unless that's what you do. you go hard in the paint.
No, still you shouldn't have a lot of them. Be safe.
So I mean, probably has a couple. But I'm gonna have just one. But I am still gonna say, pass me another. My voice is
the rating system gets tricky at that with the high ABV.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I'm not a beer person. I don't know what this stuff means. Can you explain it to me?
Which part?
Yeah.
The color.
Okay.
Oh, well, most of the time, if you get like a West Coast IPA, it's like clear. Where like these are hazy, double IPA, which is in IPA means like India Pale Ale, so it's a style of beer. It's normally bitter forward, not as malty as the Fest beer or the Feist beer that Lou is drinking on. So it's a little more bitter. This one, since it's kind of hazy, it has a little more juice, citrus flavors as well. So that's what you're going to taste.
Sometimes.
I mean, you're always going to have a little juiciness.
It's everyone's opinion. Opinions vary. Right. I'll say that.
Right. But it will always have a bitterness to it because one is beer as well as, and they use some hops. I'm not sure exactly what hops they have in this particular one.
Yeah, but they don't say
double hop. So it's double hop. So it's maybe more than one. At least twice.
And you asked about ABV. ABV is alcohol by volume. So that tells you how much alcohol is in each bottle or can or whatever keg of the beer.
So the more ABV, the more likely your chance of getting drunk.
Yeah, yes. Faster. Yes. Yeah. Because you could drink these 3% and you drink enough of them, you'll be leaned over, but you'll be bubbling too. You'll be bubbly. But just like with the liquors, they're more like they do proofs. So spirits are more proof, but ABV and proof are pretty much the same. In my opinion, I'm not sure if that's even true or not. But I'm gonna say it is.
Now you said you don't drink beer, or you never haven't found your right beer, your favorite.
Right.
So I'm not a drinker altogether. If
Okay.
I drink, my husband loves Heineken and Corona with like the lime
Hmm.
in it. So
Yeah, yeah.
so we just actually found this Corona with Di Serono, and it
Okay.
tastes exactly like Dr. Pepper.
Mm.
So if you
Yeah.
drink it, the
So you'll
Corona
drink
tastes
that.
line is. Yeah, oh yeah. But I can
You
only have
like
one. I can't
you
have
want
no
to
more.
drink this? You drink the stuff that doesn't taste like alcohol. That's the
Yes.
kind of liquor that you like. Oh, we could
Yeah.
definitely find you a beer. You the kind of drinker I am.
Send it
Yeah,
over.
Yeah.
yeah. I got some things for you for sure. I will.
Yeah, but
I will.
I just drank one that was sweet like Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I just bought a lemonade beer, a lemonade sour is in my refrigerator right now. I just decided because it's festive. I was trying to be festive.
Right, I
Yeah,
got
and
you.
I did some what's the Dewey beer again? What's it called? Secret
Thrills?
Machine. I did the
Oh,
Secret Machine. I bought a Secret Machine variety pack today too. So
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they'll
you
be
you got
coming
you
soon.
got
to try out, and I'll let you know which one I like.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. If you got
you,
a sweet palate, yeah,
Hmm.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy. I get
and, I'm,
you
Okay.
into
and,
some, yeah.
and there might actually be some beers that they concocted to make it sound closer to taste like a Dr. Pepper. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of the hard seltzers kind of taste like a Dr. Pepper. Yeah, actually, some of them are good, but they also have a seltzery Dr.
Yeah,
Peppery feel.
I
Okay.
agree with that. Yeah, yeah. Well, when we after we get done the interview, if we have some time, we'll talk more on air, and if we have some time, we'll talk more off air to help you with your beer needs.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Your
sure.
beer discovery. Because we got to
Yeah.
tell your husband to put down that Corona and Heineken.
Right, all right. We got some comparable that's much more flavorful, and he'll love it. I promise. If you like Coronas and Heinekens, I got two beers. We got two beers that we stay that we know exactly what you'll like for
Okay.
sure. And Dr. Pepper, we could find a Dr. Pepper beer. They got one.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. All right.
It may not be
Um,
out here now, but you know.
all right. Well, Kishna, we want to thank you for
Yes,
coming
thank
on
you so
today.
much.
And like we said, we want to open it up to know who you are, what's Balancing Life and Kids is all about, and what you do, and what the organization does. 'Cause I know it's a nationwide. I saw Philadelphia and Atlanta, so you all over these streets.
Mhm.
Without further ado, we want to welcome Kishna Celce for the podcast. And like they say, the floor is yours.
Welcome.
Fine. Okay. Oh, the pressure. No.
No pressure. None.
So, Balancing Life and Kids is actually a nonprofit organization that I founded back in 2015, but I incorporated in 2019. And we currently have transitioned into being a trauma-informed wellness organization. So we have three different parts. We do talk therapy, both traditionally and non-traditional. We have body movement therapy that we hold in our different locations, and that's the one that you see in Atlanta and College Park. We have one in Philadelphia in the Maniac section of the city, where we teach people how to move their body to be able to release stress and trauma and toxins through breath work and stretching and all those other things. And then we do autistic behavioral support. So our main goal is to help people figure out how to let go of all the things that are holding them back and transition into a better and newer version of themselves.
Huh. All right. So you said 2015. You started incorporated
In 2019, yeah. So I started it, and when I tell people the story, I transitioned out of a emotionally abusive relationship, and I was looking for a way to kind of let go of all the stuff that I was holding on to. So I created an online blog, and I just started writing. And I keep telling people, when I was posting my stories, I had no intention of people actually ever reading it, which is kind of dumb because I'm posting it online, right?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
So people start to read it and comment and like, oh my gosh, these stories are really resonating with me. And I'm just like, how are you finding this stuff? And it kind of just grew into being the blog to the podcast to trauma informed coaching to now being a whole entire trauma informed wellness organization.
You said podcast. You did a podcast before?
Yeah, we had a podcast for about 2 seasons. It was called
Mhm.
Bouncing Life and Kids, but we talked about all things relationships, all things mental health, all things parenting.
Okay. When you the name Balance Life and Kids, is it because you're incorporating the whole family, or is it more kids centric? Like, are you working with kids more, or is that just part of the name?
It's part of the name just because we understand that if you're a parent, you still have to figure out how to balance being a parent and being an individual. If you're just an individual who
Mm,
doesn't have any kids, you're trying to figure out how to still be you, authentically you, but balance all the other things that you have in your life. So I wanted it to be something that incorporated every aspect of adulthood, balancing
hmm.
your life and being a parent.
Nice.
Mm. And that's interesting because I know a lot of people, when they hear trauma, they always think like physical trauma, but sometimes emotional trauma can be worse, actually.
Yeah.
So that's one of
Right.
the reasons that you was like, well, I can't be the only one. Or if I tell my story, somebody else will resonate. Or were you not even thinking that when, like you said, you didn't think people would actually read it? But I guess in ways, kind of hoped, I guess maybe somebody would reach to find solace in what you were speaking
Yeah,
about.
so what I realized was it at first it was, oh my gosh, I'm the only person going through this. And then when I started posting
Mm,
and people were reading it, it was, oh no, other people are going through this too. And it clicked. If I'm going through this and other people are going through this, then other people need help. What can I do to help other people? Because I don't want them to suffer the way that I did.
so you
Mm.
weren't even what so this all started because of your trauma, and now you're wow. So did you
Yeah.
your training began at this point too? Were you trained in this field before?
No, I was not.
Wow.
I mean, I had a degree in social work, but I wasn't utilizing for that at the time. I was the director of a youth development program, so I guess maybe you could say I was, because I was
Hmm.
helping youth understand the different ways to learn, the best way for them to retain information that they were learning, and we were incorporating some healthy relationships in it as well. And once this came to me, and once I started doing the blog, and once I started to like, okay, this is something that needs to like really be something that other people can use, is when I actually went out and I started doing my training, and I started going back to school,
Mm, wow.
started getting all the
Wow.
certificates.
Yeah. That's
Mm.
that's amazing.
Now I know you walked us through some of the services that Balancing Life and Kids do, but one thing that stood out in terms of you talking about the movement and the body, like how does that actually, like how does that even kind of work? Like if I'm dancing and like I guess the pheromones or whatever they are, what?
Yeah.
Dopamine.
What I realized is, once again, through experience and dealing with people and seeing what works and what doesn't work, I realized that sometimes not everybody is either able to do talk therapy because they're not in a place that they are able to be comfortable to do it, or maybe they've had like really bad experiences with the different therapists that they've gone through and they just don't want to do it anymore, but they still have all of this stuff that they're holding on to. So when I was doing my research, I learned that we can move our bodies to help release all of the things that we're holding on to if we're not able to talk through it, right? So simple things like stretching, going for a walk, doing different breathing exercises. I have a young lady that's on my team and she does sound baths. So using the bowl, the sound bowl, and the vibration of the bowl, how it breaks away different and negative energies that we're holding onto in our bodies. That's actually how I met Lou.
Yeah, I was
Is
about to say, like we going to put a pin in the whole discussion and talk about a sound bath because I don't know what happened to me that day.
Yeah, 'cause he did come right back over and say, "Yo."
I had these ladies on the show. Like she just tried to change. She tried to change my life in a garden. It was wild. It was wild. She didn't say no, not one word. She's like, let me just do something to you. And can you explain like what a sound bath is and how you almost hypnotized me and all that stuff? Like, but actually, what it was, what you were doing, because I still don't really understand. And the basis of having like we were trying to meet and actually do some actual breath work and autistic work with you live. It just didn't work out, and it's going to work out, just not for this show, but
yeah,
later,
and,
for
and,
sure. Yeah,
it-
in time, in
as
time, when schedules link and everything cross paths, we'll be together. But
yeah, most
yeah, explain what happened that day, to as far as a sound bath goes, and actually what happened to me.
yeah. So if you think about it, one of the things that a lot of people tend to do when they're not in a good space is they listen to music. When you listen to music, what does it do to you?
Uh,
It
it
does a
changes
lot
your
of things,
mood for
but calm,
sure.
yeah, calm, it's
Definitely
soothing.
changes the mood.
Yeah.
We
Hmm.
don't realize in music is the vibrations, the bass, especially if you're listening to loud live music, or you're going to a club and they have like the speakers and the stereo and everything is really loud. The bass that you're hearing and how it vibrates in your body is actually helping to release the negative energy. So when Nia, and that's the name of the practitioner that does it, when she uses her sound bowl and she has the little I can't think of the name of it, but the little tool that she uses and she hits it and it starts to vibrate and makes that noise. That healing sound that you hear from the bowl actually penetrates into your body. And all of the negative energy that you have, the stress that you're holding on to, the trauma that you're holding on to, what it does is that vibration goes into your body and it starts to like vibrate it. And it helps to release all the negative stuff that's not supposed to be in you and allows you to let it go. And that's why we always combine the sound bath with the breath work. Because when it lets it go, when it vibrates and disengages in your body, we also use our breath to push out all the toxins and push out all the negative air and push out all the negative energy out of your body.
Wow.
Is that kind of like when you do, and when people say if you scream at the top of your lungs and like kind of release that, as kind of the same similar idea? Okay.
So it's like the negative energy in your body is static, and that screaming like that Rob just said in the vibrational bowl that you're talking about is helping break up that static. Wow. Yeah. So you broke up my static.
Yep.
That was it. Was and how often should you do something like that?
It really depends up to you and how much you're holding on to. For people who have an enormous amount of stress, enormous amount of negative experiences that they've gone through, once a week, twice a week, that works for you, right? For someone who maybe just had a bad day, but their life is not really tumultuous, they're just having a bad day or they're going through a bad moment, maybe once or twice and they're good and they don't need it anymore. So it really just depends on you and where you are in your life and what type of help that you need.
And would you recommend it to someone who was going like coming out of that stressful period, or like say that person that has a one-off bad day but normally has a pretty okay existence? Is that should they go come out of it and say, how I'm going to go get the sound bath, or hey, I'm about to go into something tumultuous, maybe I should go and get the sound bath?
I would highly recommend both. It can help you prepare for if you know you have this huge project at work and for the next 3 months you're going to be going through like all this stress. I would recommend it before you get into it and while you're going through it. If you are on the tail end of it and you just came off of this 3-month project that like made you want to pull your hair out and you're like, okay, I need to figure out a way to like release all of this stress that I've been holding on to for 3 months, I highly recommend it, and it doesn't even have to be for really, really bad moments, right? You can just use it as a way to relax. If you are doing self-care, like a lot of people are very into self-care right now, and you just want something to help you relax and put you in a better mood. Not that you're in a bad mood, but you just kind of want to like get in a better mood. I would recommend it.
Yeah, because I was in a good mood that day, but I was in a much better mood afterwards. Like I felt great. I felt great for like 3 days.
Yeah, it helps you.
Yeah, like every time I would feel like a negative force or just something almost stressful, it would take me back to like being lost in that vibrational thing that y'all did. Like I still don't think you did. No, that wasn't normal medicine, but I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it.
The ayahuasca they were blowing.
I don't know, man. Like like it when she started swirling it around, it reminded me of the Get Out. But I'm like, she black, and she didn't have no tea. It wasn't a spoon, but it definitely was kind of making a sound. And then like I literally got lost. Like it wasn't anybody there but the bowl and me. Like for a while, and I don't know how long y'all did the thing, but it felt like 20 minutes. Like it felt like I was gone. Like I couldn't focus on anything else until she stopped. After
we weed on it, that's why.
Oh,
shout out to Destination Elevator for making this connection.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't see you didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me that part.
That's funny that because you would think because of the motion, because of like in Get Out, like you said, you would kind of equate those two things where it going into a different. Well, that's also kind of the same thing. They were tapping into something different. It was a different vibration. So I guess it is just for good, not for evil.
Yeah, it wasn't for no evil purposes. I don't think I've done anything crazy since that time. Out of the ordinary, I'll say anyway. But yeah, it was a really good experience for sure.
I'm glad.
Now,
And I love
go.
to hear when men come to our sessions or come to one of our classes and they're just like, I didn't think that I would like this, or I didn't think that this would
Hmm.
do anything for me, but it did. Like for us, that really means a lot to us because one, a lot of men feel uncomfortable participating in these types of things, or two, they feel like this is not something that pertains to them. Like, oh, that's just a girl thing. That's not something that I would be able to utilize. And that's not true. All services are open to both men and women. And we
Hmm.
kind of cater to men a little bit more than we do women just because we know that men don't really have an outlet.
Huh.
Yeah,
All right.
appreciate that. How how
Now you
how how
go ahead.
so? How so do you cater to us more so than women?
So right now we're actually putting together I don't know if it's going to be weekly or bi-weekly, but a men's group to create the space for men to be able to come and participate in those specific types of programs. When we were doing the podcast, I had a lot of men on my podcast, and I was intentional with that because I wanted to give men a voice. We have specific activities that we do that cater specifically to the men. For instance, I had a young lady who is an attorney. I had her come out and talk to the men about how they are able to go for custody for their children and how they're able to fight for their children and how they're able to be more active and be more present if they're dealing with another partner who is not allowing them to be in their kids' lives as often. So we go out of our way to make sure that we do certain things for men to let the men know, hey, we see you. We know that you're struggling. We're opening this door up for you as well as the women.
Mhm. Now I'm curious. And so is that just going back to the name of the organization, Balancing Life Kids? Is that kind of what the mission is? Like, if you personally, like they say, like almost like in the airplane, they say, put your mask on first before you help everybody else. Is that kind of
Hmm.
what it is? Make sure that your mental headspace is correct, so you can be the best representation for your kids as well.
Yeah, most importantly, if we think about I forget what they're called, but like one of the a water fountain, and how the water fountain, it comes from the bottom and it goes up and it fills out and it spills over. In order for the top layer to spill out into the second layer, it has to be full first. If it's
Mm.
not full, it can't spill out into the second layer. And in order for the second layer to spill out into the third layer, it has to be full and it's catching the overflow from the first. And if we think about our mental health and our self care in that way, in order for us to be able to pour out into other people, we have to get to a place that we're so full, everything that we have is just flowing out into other people all around us.
Mhm. All right.
Wow.
now, now you said you had well, one, you have classes. I guess you said there's classes, but there's also, I guess it's more like a network of therapists and practitioners as well, because you said there was a office in Atlanta and Philadelphia. So like how does the structure actually kind of all work?
Yeah, so we have therapists that do both in person and teletherapy in Georgia and in here in Philadelphia. And we have our in person sites in Manayunk and in College Park. In both those places, you'll be able to sign up for classes, you'll be able to sign up for therapy, you'll be able to sign up for any of the events that we have, to be able to go in and physically do like the body movement. And anybody who does in person therapy, we actually combine our body movement with our talk therapy
Hmm.
because we realize and understand that it gives you a better outcome. So yeah, you're able to definitely get all of those things in both of those locations.
Oh, nice.
What made you pick College Park? I'm assuming that it started in Philly, or did it start in College Park? And what made you
So
pick the other city?
it started here in Philadelphia. My
Hmm.
mom actually lives about 45 minutes away from Atlanta, and
Okay.
she has a location in College Park. So I kind of just bum rushed her location.
Yeah. Absolutely. Nepotism at its finest. That's great. Use it. Use it.
Give me some more. She said, "I'm
When you're
yeah.
you talked about the the therapy, the one-on-ones, and then the teledoc therapy, and then you spoke about the stretch. And I know the sound bowl is part of the auditory therapy. What other auditory therapy do you guys practice and offer?
So auditory is the sound bath,
Okay.
and then everything else is body. So we do
Okay.
breath work, we do stretch classes, We have someone who is coming in to do Reiki, which is like healing, hand healing all over the body. So most of the stuff that we do is body movement, with the exception of the sound bowl that is auditory.
Okay. All right. I thought y'all was playing like Marvin Gaye versus like
So we
some
do
9 Inch Nails, depending on the scene.
No, we play white noise and brown noise. That is definitely something that we play during our events.
Brown noise.
Anything that's
Yeah,
inside
brown
the
noise.
space.
Yeah, what's brown noise? I don't know. I don't really know what white noise is, but I've heard it. But
I know
I've never heard of
the
brown.
white noise like.
Yeah, so white
Oh,
noise
it's like
is like
the static.
waves, rain, no, waves. Rain, I believe, is brown noise. So brown noise is things that are, I'm assuming, things that we hear more on a regular basis that's calming. Like I'm outside, you hear the cicadas. Like that would be
Right.
brown.
Natural, like the
Mhm.
dirt.
The dirt.
Yeah, brown is dirt brown.
Oh,
Noise
that-
outside natural.
You hear dirt.
Right.
No, if you can hear dirt, bro, your ears is wild. You got some. Yo, you got. If you don't tell the government, because they're gonna steal you. Like you'll never see you again if you can hear dirt, bro.
Experiment in the-
Yeah.
I thought you just admitted that you could hear dirt. That's what I was
No, I was equating brown to dirt, being brown. Natural nature
Gotcha.
is brown.
Actually, wrong.
Or she's wrong, or she's absolutely wrong about this, and it's not about
I'm on
nature.
the computer. Let's look up brown noise.
Yeah, because I know, like when you like wake up to, well, I don't know if it happens nowadays, but I know white noise back in the day where if you kept your TV on long enough, eventually you would get some white noise.
Oh, the static, yeah, because that channel will go off.
Yeah, but the channels don't go off no more.
Channels don't go off no more.
So Google says that brown noise is a deeper, lower frequency sound with more of a bass tone and less of a hiss than white noise. And an example is rainfall.
Speaking
Yeah,
about
so nature.
when you were talking about bass and like it helps break up the negative vibes in your body. It made me think about how deaf people go to concerts and how deaf people dance, and how you're like they're deaf, and they're like they'll sign to you like I can feel the music. It feels like that's kind of what I felt too, like with that bowl. I'm still on that bowl, man. Like it was 3 months ago. Like, but it's that's I kind of equate that too. Like you hear the vibrations, like you could feel I don't know. I have no idea how to use the words that I'm trying to find out in my mind. But how to break up that. Go ahead. You use the words for me. Go ahead.
Our body is literally made up of a bunch of different cells that are vibrating together to make us up. So if we think about it, like people, I'm one of them. I am the calmest when I'm around water or I'm in water. Either listening to water, sitting by the water, it helps like calm me down. So if we think about it, like our bodies are literally, we can't feel it or see it, but our bodies are literally vibrating at like millions of light speed a second. So when we're listening to music, the vibrations in it, the bass in it, and if you notice, the louder you play the music, the more it penetrates into you to help calm you down. And it's the same thing with the sound bowl. The louder the sound bowl, the more it penetrates into you and helps to break up whatever needs to be broken up to help calm you down.
So your eardrums is actually working against you.
Yeah, you need to feel the music. That's when people say feel the music. I think that's what they mean. They're not telling you to listen. Don't listen with your ears. Like listen with your body.
Yeah, listen with your body.
Oh, you heard when you said sound thing. I thought about 808s and Kanye's whole thing about 808s not being the demo vibration or whatever he was talking about.
Yeah,
like that. You didn't hear that? You gotta be. That's why he go higher now. He got higher vibrations. I'm like, but I like a good 808. 808 is a solid sound breakup. I feel better when I hear some 808s. I don't know. That's
your calm. That's your calm.
Yeah. Super loud so you can like feel it in you.
Yeah. The louder the better. I like loud music, but my phone always tell me, hey, you reached your capacity.
Oh man, at least like twice a week. Like, yo, you need to turn them things down.
That's definitely new.
Yeah. It definitely is a new thing that they
it came with an update. It definitely came with an update. You updated your phone. I was like, it's on here now.
Ask for it.
No, I didn't ask for this one.
Mind your business. I'm trying to
Right. You the one gave me the headphone opportunities. Like, why y'all got all these podcasts and music apps on my phone? What I'm supposed to do?
Exactly.
And I guess that's one of the people saying they looking for a good vibe. Like, what is that? They're trying to get their vibrations low, or was it high? Or I don't know how people say it, but I know a lot of people nowadays, or it's more about they're looking for good vibrations and what is it? High energy, no bad energy around me. I guess it's all the same concept in terms of that.
Singing songs, yo.
I am. Well, that was the best way I could relate to it. I want no negativity around me. That was the best way to articulate it.
But the way you was talking it like ain't nobody's gonna catch on. Look out here singing.
I know that was my purpose was to relate it to what I was thinking. That was all.
Oh man.
I was just talking about the vibrations. That was because I didn't understand it for a while. I was like, it must be in like a new wave thing. But then I understand it now when you put it into practice in terms of how it actually breaks up. When you break it up in terms of music, changing your mood, as well as just the scream therapy where people can just scream out on top of the lung. And that also, I guess that also shakes you up as well, because that is your sound waves coming out of you, called the vibrations as well. So I mean, vibrations, who knew that vibrations were
just learned about it just by talking it out right there. You learned a lot.
I know.
You figured out vibrations.
Or you say we all a bunch of cells and it just shakes it up, and hey, and I'm just going to start screaming at work.
At people. What you gotta do? Like at 3:05, I take my screen break.
Listen,
so I'm gonna be out here screaming my ass off.
They actually have certain companies and certain organizations actually have those. They have screen rooms where if you're having a tough day, if you're having, you just got off a crazy call, they have actual rooms that you can go into and they're soundproof, completely soundproof, and you can go in and you can scream your lungs out.
I like that. I need a screen room at my job.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also part of the.
They should have a TV
of the,
or something where you could put the person's face that you want to scream at. Because I don't talk to people I don't talk to people on the phone. I talk to people at my job. So I'm like, put Bill's face up here.
All right. Shout out to Bill. It's like, no.
Yeah, Bill's not real.
I know.
Bill don't work at my job. Right.
I know Bill's not real.
But Bill works at my job, though. He works there.
That's the acronym. They're gonna figure it out. Like, I know exactly.
You yesterday. It was you. Didn't say your name. You.
Yeah. In terms of the stretching and things that I guess that would include, is that like yoga as well? Is yoga part of that?
So yes, yoga and stretching is very, very much the same thing. The only difference is certain poses in yoga are given praises to the Hindu gods and everything, and stretching doesn't have any of those specific poses. It's just stretching your body. But yeah, it's the same concept.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that, but that is true. Yeah, yoga is a Hindu prayer.
Is yoga a prayer?
Certain poses, are prayers.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
These Christians out here being never mind. Never mind.
Which poses of the prayer though? Is what
they don't even know. That's what I'm saying. They out here being crazy, praying to the Hindu god and wondering why their life is miserable. You're not praying to the right one. Man. Praise be to whoever you bless. Whoever blesses you.
Yeah.
Y'all religious. Y'all do it. Y'all do it.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So how many people, I guess, is a part of Balancing Life and Kids? Because you said it's like, yes.
So we have 6 therapists.
Okay. And they're in both locations, or just because they're telemedicine, it doesn't matter, I guess?
Yeah, because they're telehealth, it doesn't matter. And that number is growing. One of the things I'm very, very excited about is we have an all-Black team.
Oh, nice.
Everybody everybody on the team.
Congratulations.
As well.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And
Pew,
for me,
pew,
that
pew, pew, pew.
because we needed to start to represent. I wanted to be able to
She
represent.
earned that. She earned that. Courtney. Courtney, she earned that one. Hope you listening. sorry. That's something from a previous episode. You gotta earn those horns. You gotta earn them horns. You earn them horns with
I'm
that.
honored that
For
I
sure.
earned this one.
For sure. That was a great thing to do. So you said you got 6 therapists and you guys are growing. But so when I come to the Philly spot to do my stretching or to do some one-on-one therapy, what if my therapist is in Atlanta?
They wouldn't be. If you're coming to the Philadelphia location to do in-person services, you would get an in-person therapist in Philadelphia.
But what about the tele therapy? What if I started my teletherapy with an Atlanta person from your business?
You wouldn't. If you are in Philadelphia and you're doing telehealth, because we know that one of the things that we are aiming to do is anyone, even though you're doing telehealth, we want you to come in person as well, even if it's just to take a class. So we would pair you with somebody who's in your city just because we're going to try to get you to come in class.
Understood. That makes more sense. A lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And did you say also there's group therapy as well?
Yes. Yep. So a couple of the different programs that we are going to be starting in October is in Uptown. Anybody who is from Philadelphia know Uptown. There's the Arbery Rec Center that's right off of Washington and Ardley. We're going to be doing parenting groups on Tuesdays from 6 to 8. So anyone who is any type of parent, whether you're auntie, uncle, godparent, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whatever, any relationship that you have with a child more than a couple days a week is open to you to be able to come and get tools and tips and skills and learn different ways that we can make parenting better and easier for us. On Wednesdays, we are going to have teen therapy or tween therapy for high school students. And we're also going to incorporate middle school students to be able to learn how to put mental health practices in practice for them, right? Because our kids deal with stuff just like we do. And on Fridays, we're going to have our men's group. So our men will be able to come together and to have conversations, drink, smoke, however you guys do it, but to be able to get some stuff off your chest.
And I guess that is there going to be? I guess it's led by a male therapist. Is that how?
Yes.
Or
it's going to be led by a male. I don't want any women there because I don't want it to be like, well, this is a men's group. Why is there a woman? Right? There's not going to be women there. And I'm really excited that we're having it at a rec center because there's a basketball court, there's a football court, so the men can like be in their element as they're talking. If they want to be inside the space, they can be inside the room. If they want to go outside on the ball court, they can do that as well.
All right. I only laugh because you said football court, but I know.
I was trying to just laugh it off and let it go. But I guess the people do need to know.
She won't be there.
But you knew what I meant, though.
Yeah, Kishna, I'm not going to be at the football court. I'll meet you at the basketball field, though. We can go there.
You know what I meant.
We did. We did. It was just a little funny. But that's good that you, like you said, you do have it at the rec center. So if they don't want to just talk, they do have some other ways to release the stress for that particular day and time. Because that's what I feel like that's what it's all about, like releasing the stress that you have in these three different ways that you guys offer. That's pretty cool. I like that you focus
and, sometimes
on
it takes a little bit for guys to kind of loosen up, so you might got to get them in their comfort zone first.
Yeah,
before they actually start talking about like, oh, this is a safe space. So let me tell you about this and this and that and that and that and what I'm going through. Because a lot of times it's the same, some of the similar issues, and a lot of times you just need somebody to listen to you and like, you know what, no judgment here.
Do you guys have group like father-son or father-daughter, mother-daughter therapy, like where the kids come with their parents?
So we can do that. We have not had it yet because we haven't had anyone ask for it. But
Okay.
that is the need that like people are like, listen, this is something that I want. Because I wish I had that for my daughter. My daughter is a teen, and some days I'm just like,
What is going on? What?
right?
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to create the parenting space, because maybe I can learn from another parent about how you were able to deal with your child at that stage that I'm not doing with mine,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
So yeah.
This is a question to both of y'all. Do you feel like when y'all were younger, you know how we always have that feeling like I can't wait to be a grown up, like 13, 14. Like I can't, I'm tired of being in my parents' house. I can't wait to be a grown up. And then somebody tells you like, just stay young. That's all they say. They don't say like why. They don't give you no reason. Have you ever gotten a reason? Like I'll be telling my kids all the reasons why they should stay young. I'm like, yo, bills. Like you don't pay not one bill. You don't work not one job. Like go to your job is school. If you get a C, what am I supposed to do? I don't care. Like, I don't even care.
Yes.
Like,
but that's something that we didn't get when we were growing up, right? We didn't have parents who were communicative with us to let us know, hey, if I tell you not to do this, this is the reason why I'm telling you not to do it. It's just do what I say, or else you're gonna get in trouble.
I had to talk with my son this morning about like I was fussing at him for something. Like I told you to do this and he didn't do it. And then afterwards, it's like, yo, I told you this is why. It's not just listening to me. Like it's a life lesson. Like you got to walk out here, and if you don't listen to your boss, you get fired. Like I'm never going to fire you. I love you to death. But if you don't listen to him or her, she's like, you're done. And I'm not even calling him back. I'm just never answering the phone when he tries to come into work. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that for you. So yeah.
I was fortunate enough to have a mother that actually worked with the youth, so she was a lot more communicative about life lessons and stuff like that. So I had I guess because of her occupation, she had to communicate with kids and show them. And a lot of times you realize that kids go through some of the same things, some of the emotions that you have, and you be like, oh man, even though you be like, you ain't upset. For real, but they are their emotions, so they are actually upset.
Right. Whatever that 12-year-old or that 9-year-old emotional capacity is, if they're upset, they're upset. Like you got to give that space. And I don't think that as adults, maybe like I don't know. I just think like now people always say like our generation that we're raising is so much softer than our generation and and they're like, yeah, it's true. Like we're supposed to be softer and more emotional for the younger generation, so they can be and be in touch with all the feelings. Like men are supposed to be just angry and sad. Like we have a variety. I can't just be angry, sad, and happy. Like, I want to be all the emotions if I can. And I want to teach my son to do that, my daughter to do that, and any other kids that come my way, and any other men or women that are grown enough to listen. They need to know, like, yo, you don't gotta be two emotions. Like, express yourself. You know,
and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start the men's group. And if I'm being honest, I've dated before I met my husband, but it wasn't until I met my husband that I realized that men have emotions. Listen, that's a secret. I just put myself out there. Nobody knew that.
You mentioned it earlier. You mentioned this in the beginning. But you said you didn't realize men had emotions until you met your husband?
I didn't. I did not.
Elaborate on that.
Allow them. So I grew up in a very large family, but it was all boys in my family. I have 38 cousins, and out of 38 cousins, it's like 5 of us girls. So we were not taught growing up that boys are supposed to have emotions. Something happens to you and you just kind of deal with it. So I'm seeing that this is what is being taught to the men in my life. So I'm just assuming that this is what's being taught across the board to every man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got with my husband and I'm just like, oh, he feels sadness. Oh, he feels joy. Oh, he feels anger. Oh, he feels frustration. Like this was a foreign concept to me because I was never taught that men were allowed to have these different types of emotions. So if this is something that he is going through and he's struggling with it, I can only imagine how other men are struggling with these same emotions because they were taught that they're not allowed to have them.
Right.
What can I do to help them? And that's how it came about.
Nice.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like how you're doing you're helping people with their trauma, and it all came out of your trauma. Like your
Yeah.
trauma is what started you to write, and then you're like, hey, I want a lot of people to see this, but I don't really want nobody to see this, so I'm gonna put it on the internet. You know, I still don't understand how that works.
But
And
speaking of writing, you actually wrote some books as well. So it's not just the blog. You actually wrote. You're an author as well.
Yes, I did. I wrote 2 books. One is a memoir and one is life lessons that I learned about love. I created a couple of journals. I was a grant writer for a while, so I created a grant writing manual to help people learn how to write grants and submit applications for nonprofits and LLCs. So yeah, I have a couple of books out there.
Okay, just a couple
just
books out there.
there's a couple, 3, 4. There's a couple 3, 4 books out there.
Which actually is
nice.
kind of cool because they actually deal with different. Oh, because the memoir is always an interesting thing because that's personal. Even though I guess the life lessons and love is actually kind of personal as well. So
how do you know when to write a memoir?
That's a good question.
Because that's like an autobiography, right?
Yeah, so this one was not a full memoir. It was more along the lines of how I overcame trauma, and it's literally 6 steps to overcoming your trauma.
Okay.
Because once again, for me, it was important. I learned these lessons the hard way. I don't want anyone else to have to learn them the hard way. So what can I do? How can I put it out there so that other people can learn the same lessons I did and not have to go through what I did to learn the lessons?
For sure. Yeah, 6 steps.
Yeah, 6 steps. Well, and so was the life license you learned in love, and the grant writing book. Grant writing actually is pretty solid because that's always an issue that a lot of nonprofits have. So that's always you're like, how do I get this money?
Small businesses, yeah, there's a lot of money, especially now. There's a lot more available funding out there. But grant writing is really hard because how do you write this in a way that people are gonna want to fund it, right? So,
right. Yeah, I need to read that book.
Yeah, me too. I need a. Can I get a lesson?
Well, I sit on these boards and they always have the same question, like, "Yo, how are we getting this money?"
Grants, yeah. Y'all don't have no grant writer on your board. Like every board should have a grant writer. Now we do. We're about to ask you to be on our board.
I
don't know.
I wrote a book.
Yeah, I got a job. Excuse me?
She said I got an assistant.
Send it to her assistant. All right.
Is
your assistant a grant writer?
Yes, I taught her how to write grants.
Oh, all right. All right. How busy is she?
She said I got my own 501c3.
It's not too busy for you.
See, there we go. There it is. There it is. There it is. We just got ourselves a grant writer.
Oh my God.
You just gave us a grant writer. You gave us a grant writer. Like, we're not gonna not give you the horns for that.
Not too busy for you, Lou. So I know you're talking about events and stuff like that. So are there any events that are coming up soon?
Yes, actually, we is it this Saturday coming up? Let me look at the date.
23rd.
Yeah, this Saturday coming up, we're having a Breathe and Blow event. So we're going to be at Arbery Rec Center in the park, and we're going to have our self-care class, but it's going to be in the park. It's going to be accompanied with some cannabis. So if you're a cannabis user, you can either bring your cannabis with you, or we will have somebody who will be able to provide the cannabis for you. And we're going to go through our session. So we're going to do some breath work. We're going to do some stretching. We're going to do some sound bath, and we're going to have a little bit of journaling and a conversation.
Oh, so just talking about that. So how big is marijuana in the practice?
Depends on who you're talking to. I'm not a big cannabis user. I use it every now and again, but Nia, who is our breathwork and sound bath practitioner, if she could use cannabis in every session and everybody was down with it, listen, y'all would be high and breathing right.
All right. Well, this makes sense where they were at the event. Okay.
Yeah.
So now it's connecting the dots.
It just depends on who you with.
Yeah. That makes sense. Because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Everybody's different. You got to find what works for you.
Listen, I'm gonna tell everybody use some cannabis. So I don't smoke it, but my cousin introduced me to using it as tea. So I steep it as tea, and I have arthritis in my knees. Shout out to my dad. It relaxes the muscles and don't feel any pain.
How about that? Shout out to your dad for giving you arthritis. He's like, why you gonna tell me out?
I was listening to your show. You talking about my arthritis, girl. What's wrong with you?
I don't even know if he sound like that.
That's what I'm saying. I hope your dad don't talk like
that. Older people, that's why I just sound. They always sound like. I don't know.
Especially the ones with arthritis. That's the pain in their knees. That's what that sound is.
Especially with the weather right now, I can feel it in my bones. It's going to rain
today. Changing. It's about to get wind up in here.
Little weed tea. I promise you, it'll change your life.
Weed tea. I'm gonna try how do you? Oh, never mind. I actually, how do you do that? Like, I guess so. I guess edibles would be the same.
You put the leaves in the tea bag, in the tea thing.
Yeah.
And then you put the tea thing. Yeah, it's a steeper. Yeah, it's actually called a steeper, not a tea bag.
I get it. This feels like a waste of weed. No, sure. It's wet.
No, weed now. Use it. Like if you use it one time, and you could reuse it.
Oh, how about that? I learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they make butter and all in the oils and stuff like that. They gotta get the weed wet.
Mm-hmm. They cook it.
I get it, but I didn't know you could reuse it. Once you reuse it, that's game changer. I didn't know you could reuse it.
It's 3 times. I'm using my weed 3 times. I'm all right now. It's okay.
Right. I didn't know you could recycle that. You're like, oh man, I got tea in the morning. I'm getting high on this
for a whole week. I've had this since the 31st.
Yeah.
I'm working on my same steep.
I learn something new every day. That's beautiful. All right. And so besides the breathe and blow, anything beyond that's going on as well?
Yeah, so every month we have our self-care class. Every last Sunday of the month, you can sign up in on the website, and you can come out to our self-care class. We always have some type of activity that helps you figure out how to learn to put yourself first. And one of the things that we're incorporating now into all of our self-care classes is plant therapy. So we normally have like a plan, and we do like an activity with the plan, and everybody gets to take one home with them. And that we've had great reviews with that one. So
what date is this? What you said? The last Saturday or last Sunday?
The last Sunday of every month, starting in October.
Okay. So that would be the 29th.
Yeah. Until I believe we said May, because in May, the last Sunday is May is the last one we're going to do inside the space. And then we'll transition back to the breathe and blow because it's nice outside and we want people to get outside and, enjoy nature and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the breathe and blow, is there like a cost, or you ticket or you register in advance? Like, how does that even work?
Yeah, so if you go on the website, you'll be able to purchase a ticket. There's 2 different options. There's just the attending option where you bring in your own cannabis if you are going to indulge. And then there's the other option where we provide the cannabis for you. And the beautiful thing about that is Nia is our natural herbalist person. So all of the cannabis that she brings is like very pure, no artificial anything put into it, no preservatives. It's like the best of the best.
That organic weed. I'm learning more and more about organic weed. I'm like,
the different properties and which one to smoke for this. Yeah, like you got to steep it for your knees.
And it shouldn't give some of the side effects that some of the weed that we have. It shouldn't give you some of those side effects if it's organic and not with all those extra things.
What I didn't know is there's like weed that relaxes you and puts you to sleep, and there's weed that energizes you.
Yeah,
so that's the thing that I learned.
Sativa versus indica. Yeah.
All right. All right. Anything? You got any more questions, Lou?
Nah, man. All my questions are off air. So
what kind of questions you got?
Nah. I just want to talk to her about the beer and about the breath work. That's it. I'm trying to get another sound bath, man. That's all. I don't feel like I feel like our fans don't need to hear me talk about sound baths for another 10 minutes.
I mean, they might enjoy it. They want to know your experience, so they know to go and get a sound bath.
Yeah,
Like
go.
that you sign up for sound baths as well. Like the services. Do you sign up
Yes.
all these
So
services?
you can sign up for. Yeah, so everything is on the website. If you go to for talk therapy, you would go to www.balanceandlifeandkids.com. For all the body movement therapy and the events like the sound bath and the breathe and blow and the self-care classes, you would go to Soul Healing, SOULHEALN.com.
Okay. All right.
But it's under the same umbrella.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Soul Healing is under Balance Life and Kids, and they're both nonprofits.
Nice. Also, well, I'm thinking of that in terms because it is a 501c3. Like, there's like, if people want them, I guess, helping organization, are there like donation links as well in terms of that, or is that something as well?
Definitely. On the Balance Life and Kids website, if you scroll toward the bottom, there is a button for you to be able to donate to the organization, so that we would be able to provide services for people for free. Like right now, we're working with the Domestic Abuse Project in Delaware County so that we can create a partnership with them to do both the body movement therapy as well as traditional talk therapy with their survivors for free. So any donations that anybody provides to us would be able to allow us to pay our practitioners to do that.
Nice.
Well, we want to thank Kishna.
Hold on, I have one more question. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. Being as though I had this question since the beginning. Being as though it's Suicide Prevention Month, do you guys do anything to provide the community with any suicide prevention help?
One-on-one, we do. Anybody who comes in and they are having suicide ideations, we definitely schedule you for a free consult to be able to figure out what's going on and why you're feeling that way. And then we bring you in to do one-on-one. Anything suicide related, we'd love to have you come in one-on-one, just because we feel like you can feel the vibrations, right, coming from us when we have those direct conversations and we do the body movement. And we've had really good experiences with that when they actually come in and they're dealing with those things. They're struggling with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you guys take insurance?
We sure do.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh,
so it ain't no excuse, people. It ain't no. Yeah, thank you. There's no excuse. There ain't no excuse to give a call if you're having some trouble.
Unfortunately, we definitely take private insurance.
Awesome.
Nice.
So if you live in Atlanta, if you live in Philly, and you having some troubles, give them a call. Use that insurance, man. It'd be almost damn near free when you got insurance. I mean, you pay every month, but you don't gotta pay them to their face.
Pay them to their face.
They get that check on the back end. They get that check behind our backs.
That's just a weird way to say.
Yeah, I don't gotta pay them to their face. Like, see y'all later. Like, I'm here stealing, walking out.
We want to thank Kishna Celce for coming
so
on the
much.
podcast.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Kishna.
Thank you guys for having me. This was fun.
Now you kind of already did it, but before we go, we always like to know how people can find out more about the services or the events going on. So you want to tell us exactly where the locations are and all that good stuff. Like, how can people find out more about Balancing Life and Kids?
Yeah, so the best way is through our website at www.balanceandlifeandkids.com. Literally all one word. And everything for all of the events that we have going on is www.soulhealing.com.
All right. Lou?
My name is Lou Belgium. I'm on them Instagrams.
Shout out to IM302 Yoda on them Instagrams as well. If you want to listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you can go to Bruising Banter. If you can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
You want me to do it?
I don't know. Yeah. I think it's the 8%.
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere we play podcasts, you can go on there and say Bruising Banter or Alexa, play Bruising Banter podcast.
Yeah, I think the 8%
If you want to if you want to go to Rob's IG, you can go follow Rob at Rob Stay Bruising.
Rob Stay Bruising. Bing, 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 bing. There it is.
If you want to get any merch like the merch that I'm wearing right here, go to bruisingband.com. Rob's wearing some merch right there. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you again, Kishna, for coming on. Follow her. Go to her websites. Go to her IG if you want to follow up with her. And till next week, everyone.
Have a good week, everyone.
Yeah. Until next
Bye.
week. Have a good week, everyone.
You said that right. You said that energy.
Episode 1,
We are one.
216.
One
Nope,
love.
218. This is episode 218.
One love. 218. You said it right.
All I need is good energy. I don't need no negativity around me. High frequency. I'm talking high G. Yeah, yeah.